Move this out of the way so you can see my low back. So here is a supine twist. Okay, there's one here where you come over. And if I come all the way over, see how much more rotation there is here? Then there's bring the hips over and come over, and that keeps the pelvis a little more aligned. But this is an asymmetrical twist. So how do we make it symmetrical? And coming over like that, and see how that's a little bit more steady. However, I have wide hips, so I can feel the traction on my SI joint here. Ergo, I lift that leg so that leg is more parallel to the floor. But for some people with disc damage, and if it's acute, like they get to here and they're like, ugh, no twisting that day. But we can limit and block the rotation of the twist by putting a bolster here. They're still getting some oblique stretch, but they're not going into that deep lumbar torsion. And I'll even set up, because Vinny Yoga is a lot about repetition to work with the biomechanics of movement, and then the stay for the longer stretch to the fascia. So I will lay a bolster on either side of my students at an angle to block them on both sides. And that's how I keep them safe. And you get good at face reading, because you see, and you know they're in pain.
What about, I've heard you talk about before about doing twists standing.
Yeah, twists. And I have to say, Lulu Peel is another Vini Yoga therapist, and I've been taking her classes, and she is awesome. And she's been doing a lot of undulating. And that, Earhart probably did some undulating yesterday. Oh, yeah. This sort of, wiggle and jiggle and move. But then these sorts of twists, trying to keep the pelvis forward and twisting around like this. You'll see this a lot. But that's a release valve that won't hurt them. If I'm seated in a chair or on the floor, my hips are fixed. So if something has to give, it's going to be my spine. And that's even more important in a forward bend, because my hips can't go backwards. This is the riskiest pose on earth for lumbar disc damage. Tight hamstrings, pull the pelvis under, you go into a forward bend, hinge at the back. So if a disc is bulging, it can blow. So you can take the stress out of the hamstrings by doing this. Make sure the pelvis is rotated forward by doing this. Bolster is a little bit high, but you get the idea. Where you're coming forward, this is much safer. That being said, in my healthy back class, I do not teach this pose. I can harass their hamstrings in another way. And the safest place for the back is when the spine is long on the floor.